guilty today of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault.
Bill Cosby found guilty on all counts.
80-year-old Bill Cosby was found guilty of drugging and sexually assaulting.
America's TV dad. Now he's simply inmate number NN7687 at SCI Phoenix, Pennsylvania's most expensive prison. The 81-year-old, who is legally blind, was housed near the infirmary in a single cell with no cellmate. Authorities tell us, quote, the long-term goal is general population.
Welcome to Can We Talk? I'm Derek.
And I'm Sonia. Thank you for watching. Today's episode is entitled, Dump the Suit, Eat the Fruit. Dump the suit, eat the fruit. So can we talk? This is actually a pretty heavy topic. And the title is being inspired because we're going to take a look at how the decisions of husbands impact the family and the marriage. And so the title actually represents men who have portrayed themselves in beautiful suits and sharp attire, and yet they do not have the fruit of the Spirit. And the one that we're going to focus on in this episode is the spirit of self-control.
So the person that we're talking about is me. And I represent men. And I represent all men who have an appetite, all men who have addictions, all men who have desires, all men who have either been taught, bred, exposed to the flesh, and that flesh talks to you every single day. And actually what caught our attention is a man he's in jail. He was the father of all American families, Bill Cosby. And we're not going to get into the events that got him into jail, but really talking about the appetite, really talking about not having self-control. He went from being America's dad, he went from being America's Dad to being on TV, and some of the shows that he was on were The Bill Cosby Show, Bill Cosby himself, The Electric Company, Ghost Dad, The Cosby Mysteries, Cosby. Some of the other shows were Let's Do It Again. Remember that show? A Piece of the Action, the old movie. So the list goes on some of the things that he has done in his career, and he represents the suit.
Right.
He represents the suit that men put on, and the suit goes over us, and it's not really giving a good description of who we really are.
And if you aren't familiar with the fruit of the Spirit, we're taking it from Galatians 5, which describes 9 fruit, and actually self-control is the last one. I think they saved the best for last on that one, but it's love, joy, peace, patience, gentleness, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and self-control. And what I have seen this icon go from came from lack of self-control. And it's so much deeper than just a man who did some things and went to jail. It really represents how the enemy took all the good he stood for, and because he had a vice and lost control of it, destroyed years and years of family values that he taught America to have.
Yeah. Do you think marriage, when a man gets married, that the expectation is that everything else disappears?
Yes. And I think that that's why everybody was shocked when they heard the news, and all these women came forward. His was an addiction, clearly. And I think that men keep the suit on. That's why I said dump the suit, eat the fruit. Dump the suit. Because the thing about it is, at some point, it comes out. At some point, your character is going to be shown. So you might as well just dump the suit when you say I do, and say, look, I'm not perfect. I'm a man. I got these issues. And here's why this is a sobering episode. Because of the counseling that we do, we see it every day. There is a high percentage of husbands who are battling with lack of control because of urges, because of addictions, because of impulses. And Derek told me this one time. Derek used to go to a men's worship on Friday nights for 5 years. We've mentioned this man who mentored Derek for a long time to become a husband and a man. And Derek said to me in one of the nights that he came back home, he said, a real man, a man of God, is able to control his impulses. And then he went on a fast to see if he could prove to himself that he had control of his impulses of eating, because Derek loves to eat. If you don't know him, now you know. And it was so profound that he said that to me, because immediately I felt the security of our marriage getting stronger. Because what makes us insecure as women is wondering, is our husband going to have enough self-control to be faithful? Is he going to have enough control to be honest? Is he going to have enough control to be safe? Is he going to have enough control to protect me? And when a man doesn't have self-control, the marriage is insecure.
Right. One thing about that men's group that I got from it was, and you said it, but I'm going to say it the way I said it back then.
Yeah, because I didn't think I got it right.
You got it right.
I did.
You missed a word. You missed
What I miss?
slave.
Yes.
So the statement was not to become a slave to our impulses.
Yes.
Which means that, the impulses that we have, we're captivated by it. It's controlling us, and it's calling our names, and we become slaves to our impulses. Whether it's pornography, whether it's lust of the flesh, whether it's drinking and gambling and smoking, and I didn't get it until 4 years into the marriage. And a lot of our viewers now are engaged, or they're newly married, and they're trying to figure out, did I marry the right guy? Do I know everything about him? No, you won't ever know everything about the person, but there are some signs, some red flags that you should see. And some of our viewers who have been married for quite a while, they kind of ignored it. Sonia ignored it. Sonia walked into my apartment, and she went to my closet, and she looked at the videotapes on the top shelf, and they had XXXX on it. Remember that?
Yep, I'll never forget.
And she said, "What's that?"
I'll never forget.
I said, "Oh, that was when I was in vice narcotics when I was a cop, and I kept it as evidence. I confiscated those tapes, and so I kept them for evidence. Well, I kept them for myself. No big deal." Well, she didn't know that I had a heavy porn addiction.
Right.
And so I kept that a secret for about 3 years. But you know what? Whatever you do in the dark will come out into the light. And it came out into the light 3 years later. So those are the things that were pulling me. That's one of the many things that were pulling me. And so we're talking about self-control, and it's really a coping mechanism for something else.
Right.
You're really coping from some type of pain or misfortune or trauma or upbringing, and a lot of men have a hard time admitting to that there was something in my past that's creating this addictive behavior, because it's really controlling you from masking some type of pain or hurt. And so that's what I got from that men's group. And so I believe that the self-control has to be in a place where a man has a spiritual awakening with God.
Yeah, I agree. And it's crazy because you're right. When you were reliving that, I actually remember not believing him that they were tapes that he confiscated, but not knowing what to do with what I really believed was the truth. And so I pushed it away in the back of my mind.
Did you know in your gut?
Yeah, I did.
How come you didn't do anything?
Because I didn't know what to do with it. And I think that happens to a lot of wives. I think you see signs of addictions or behaviors that might be maladaptive, and you see signs and you love the man so much that you think, oh, our love is enough. Our love was not enough. It was not enough. It was enough to keep us together to work through it. But it's not enough if you're not being honest.
Did you do it because I was a good enough man? I was good enough at that point?
I don't know to what extent I thought it might have been an issue. Mm-hmm. I knew that I didn't like that you had them in your closet. Mm-hmm. I knew that turned me off significantly. I detest porn. Sorry for those that like it. I detest it. I am not interested in seeing people have sex, especially people that aren't married. It's just straight up going against everything that God created sex to be. And it disrupted my spirit, like really disrupts my spirit to see it. Like I'm watching sin happen. Like we all sin, but I'm like literally watching it in the most vile, disgusting way. And so, because I had seen porn before. My brother used to watch it, not to call him out there like that, but he did. And I remember catching him and saying, that is so disgusting. And so when I saw the tapes, immediately I had disgust, I had fear, I had confusion, but then I had hope that it was what he said it was. But then I was just like, why did you want to keep those? What about that is worth keeping? We never talked about it. Fast forward till we got married and the addiction proved itself in other ways. Then I was like, see, I should have said something.
And the thing about it, it's like a gateway. You know how they say marijuana is a gateway to other drugs? Yeah. That porn is a gateway. Yeah. Most men have been exposed to it when they were young boys. Mm-hmm. And it was what men do, what boys do. Mm-hmm. And it's a gateway to a lot of other things. And again, I don't know Bill Cosby's journey, and I'm not going to try to take a guess. But I do know that the behaviors that he was convicted of, it was a gateway before he actually did the acts.
I agree. There's no question about it.
And it's just not him, but there's so many men who are struggling with the gateway, and it's impacting. I mean, he's married and with children. He's 80 years old or something like that. And so everything that has taken place in his life, he's now looked at as inmate number NNM13, whatever that number is, as opposed to Bill Cosby, the man who is supposed to have left a legacy. That's what he's known for, instead of all the good that he has done, and all the money that he has invested in schools, all those other things. People are now looking at him as that person. And the thing about it, a man just has to have that character left. Doesn't matter if he's worth $40 million or whether he's worth $2. It's the character that he has to be standing on.
And that's what was stripped from him.
Yeah.
By the decisions that he made hiding in the suit. That's what was stripped of him, so that his legacy has now been distorted. Yeah. And that's what makes me sad more than anything. Yeah. Is that the legacy of a man that everyone, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, everybody just knew him for being a man of family, a man of values.
We can dissect the Bible and give you lots of scriptures on the spirit and the flesh. We can give you a whole lot of, but we want to give it as simplistic as we can possibly give it, because sometimes when we give biblical references, people get lost in the translation.
Right.
And so we really want to just go into the depth of the destruction when a man loses self-control. And it can be his anger, his temper loses self-control. It doesn't have to necessarily be any type of porn or lust issue. It can be a lot of other self-control issues that he may have.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
know?
yeah. I mean, we've seen it manifest itself in a lot of different ways, even just from too much internet, too much video games, because gaming is an addiction now. It's actually getting ready to be in our DSM 5. Well, not 5. I guess the next edition. That's our diagnostic statistical manual that gives us the criteria to diagnose people. And the addiction to games and internet is going to be a diagnosis because it is becoming an impairment to the person's ability to function. Meaning that they've got to have their phone. When they wake up in the morning, they've got to see their phone. When they go to bed at night, they're on their phone or their tablet. And it's becoming an addiction. There are some people that literally can't sit at dinner and not look at their electronic device. So, you know, it comes in different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, we know some of the obvious ones, eating. You know, a lot of Americans are overweight. Why? Because they're overeating. So, I mean, it's not just a sexual behavior in nature. That impulse control covers the gamut of our lifestyle.
Right. You know, as Sonia was talking, I was thinking about when men have the appetite and they can't control it. Some men blame their wives. Some men say, well, she's not having sex with me. What am I supposed to do?
Right.
I have to masturbate. I have to go get a girl on the side. I have to entertain myself through other means. I have to drink because my wife is not doing what she's supposed to do. I try not to be so hard on the men because I was told that I was a little too hard on the men.
Who told you that?
Oh, I get told you're a little too hard on the men. Well, you know, I come from
Marine.
I come from a family.
They
who,
ain't seen hard.
The men, whiny man. Okay.
That is Derek's pet peeve though.
That's
like he really wants men to man up. He really does.
I'm going to be kind and nice, but there are some men that really need to do some self-reflection.
Right.
They need to just look in the mirror and say, okay, I have a problem. I have a problem which is causing disruption in my home. I have a problem where it's causing my wife to feel unsafe.
Right.
Her security is being violated. My children don't like me. They just walk away when I come through the door. Everybody's just all in the uproar. And at some point, the man has to say it's me.
Right.
At some point, you have to say, it's me, as Paul said.
Oh, wretched
man that I am. He wasn't blaming anybody else but himself.
Right.
At some point, a man needs to say, oh, wretched man that I am. I have some issues. I have some impulse issues that I can't control. And I need some help.
Do you think that if most men could come to an awakening of that they would be healthier marriages?
Oh, absolutely. And I have some men who have made that journey. I've had some men who said, look, okay, 8 weeks, help me find out who I am. Help me take me on this journey because I'm tired of being this man. I'm tired of being this man who everyone looks at me and they're just not pleased with who I am.
Right.
And there have been men who have changed and their marriages have been just totally dramatically changed. The wives see a new man. The children see a new man.
Yeah.
The family sees, like, who's that?
That's us.
You know?
I mean, I remember when you went through your transformation, I think we saw it.
Yeah, we saw it. But, you know, it's just, it really takes an awakening. You know, we're moving slow tonight because our AC is out. So I'm sweating and we're moving kind of slow. But we wanted to forge through this particular topic because it's significant in regards to self-control. And because, not judging the man, he just didn't have self-control. He just decided, I'm going to do this and do that and do this and do that and act like it's okay. And then, but you know what? there's consequences for your behaviors, period, because it says in the Bible, God said to Adam, you can have anything in this garden you want, but don't touch that tree over there. And when you do touch it, what did he say? You will surely die.
Yeah.
Which means that you're going to get a consequence for your behavior. Because I'm a firm believer in that reciprocity. What do you say? It's karma, baby. It's karma, baby. It's coming back. And I've done some wretched things in my life. I'm not exempt from that. And I ask God every day to forgive me for the things that I've done. And please don't give me what my sin deserves. And I pray over my children every day because God is saying, no, you remember that, remember that, remember that. And I'm not exempt from the consequences of what I've done in my life, but I've asked God to forgive me, and I walk not in that path again. And so I think it's important for us to understand, men, to understand that there's a consequence for what we do, and I don't want that spanking because I've had that spanking before. So men, it's time for us to wake up and get control, and don't be a slave to your impulse.
And wives, don't be in denial to your husband's vice. Not every husband has a vice, but most men do. I want to say 90% of our husbands have shared or have been discovered to have had a vice of some kind. The vice, the thing that they lack self-control in. And as wives and as helpers, we really are responsible for paying attention to it, because they're going to need our help with it. So even if it's not disclosed or it is just discovered, don't deny it, don't deny it.
And if your husband asks for help, he's taking a chance and even asking for help.
True.
If he says, look, okay, I need to tell you some things, it's going to probably hurt you, but I need your help because I've been dealing with this thing for a long time. And you have to be in a place where you're spiritually equipped, you're emotionally healthy, and if he comes to you and say, help me, then be prepared to help the man.
And he may not say, help me. His behavior may be saying, help me. And you got to be careful not to be judgmental, because then he won't receive your help. And I know it's hard to hear that, because some of you wives that are listening have already been hurt by the vice.
Right.
And so it may be hard to help the person who hurt you.
Right.
We always say that. How does the helper help the person who hurt them? And it's not an easy path. It really isn't. But here's the thing. Women are stronger than we've been made out to be. I mean, some of you all already know that. But even our ancestors, they were strong. They gave birth under duress, under turmoil. They would have to go right back and pick cotton, wrap that baby up on a cloth and hang her behind or hang him behind their back and go back picking cotton and, all day long, stop to breastfeed. And I mean, women are strong. We came from some strong DNA, and it hasn't changed. Baby girls survive prematurity much more than boys. I mean, there's so many examples of the strength of the woman. So don't think that just because you've been hurt that you're broken. You're not broken, you're hurt. And hurts can heal. And I'm empowering you in this particular episode to find your inner strength through Christ and be about the helping once you get your healing. And I know women, man, I wish they would let me feature them on one of our vlogs, because if you heard their stories, and sisters, y'all know who you are. I have cried with you, I have prayed with you. If you all heard their stories, you all would say, what am I complaining about? And they are doing some phenomenal things in their lives with the hand that they've been dealt. When I say, if I can hear a story and my mouth is open, and it takes a lot to do that, then I mean then that it's been severe walk for that person. And I know women who are doing some wonderful things in spite of the things that they've been through. So we have it in us.
That was a good point. And when you were talking, Sonia, I haven't called you Sonia in a while.
You haven't.
I used to call you baby.
You do, or Son.
Or Son, or baby ears.
You really want to go there?
Tiny nose.
Huh?
Okay,
Giggles?
let me close on this point. Men, if you have hurt the helper, then you have to come back and try to fix that thing. If you believe that she is designed to help you, because she is, and if you hurt her based on your behaviors or based on anything that you've done, you have to come back and go through a process of just being humble.
Yeah.
You can't be just say I'm sorry and think you can do and all the things that you have done, which makes her anxious, worried, still concerned. You have to come back and just eat some humble pie, ask for forgiveness and go through the process of helping her heal. If you want the marriage to mend and to grow, you can't come back all like cocky and, man, it's 3 years now, she should be over it.
We hear that a lot.
When you've messed up, till death do you part, bruh. If you messed up, until death do you part.
And to find a support group of men to help you bear that burden.
Because
you're gonna bear it.
You're gonna bear it.
And depending on your wife, she may have PTSD and come back after 3-4 years because of a smell or a sound.
We have men who violated severely, and they're still walking in that humble place, and it has made the healing process faster.
Yeah.
It has showed the wife that, okay, he was a man, he messed up, he made some mistakes, but he's acting like he really cares and loves me enough to protect me more than he has protected me before. So, on that note.
So check this out. So wives, as you transition into understanding your husband's vice and helping him with the vice, he does need the fruit of self-control. He needs all the other 8 too. But how about this? How about you ask God to give you an abundant amount of love, an abundant amount of joy, an abundant amount of peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, goodness, faithfulness. You need the self-control too, but focus on those 8 and you will have self-control, but you will also have the ability and the power to help your husband. And check this out, those 8 fruit of the Spirit is not something that you get from the world. You don't get it from your job. You don't get it from your girlfriends. You don't get it from mama. You don't get it from papa. You get it from the Holy Spirit. So find the Holy Spirit. Ask the Holy Spirit to invoke His presence, and you will have those 8. That's how I was able to heal. That's how many other wives are able to heal, by asking God for all of those fruit of the Spirit each and every day, so that I can give my husband the love and the peace and the patience, all that he needs to get his healing. Because check this out, we are the helpers because they come with hurts too. And that's why the title of this episode is Dump the Suit, Eat the Fruit, because so many men are hiding behind their suits. So now that you know what you're going to do with it.
Thanks for watching.
Yes.
Continue to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We look forward to seeing you next week.
And until next time, take good care of yourselves.
God bless you.